Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is an SU-8. It's a Tier 6 Soviet SPG located on the north spawn of Mountain Pass. It's under the command of talon1958. And this is a video with two replays from Talon. Game started. Okay, it's got a 152mm howitzer. It's based on the hull of the T-28, but this Arty never existed, I'm afraid. It's, well, supposed to be what the Soviets would have actually designed if they still had the T-28 in operation, but nope, never existed. It's quite a good Arty though. It's got a very good DPM, almost as, in fact, better than the M44, but its fire rate isn't quite as fast. It just does more damage than the M44 does. 600 alpha. Capable of doing 38mm of armour, and it's got a burst radius of 7 meters. Rounds out the super shafty. Ooh, missed. Just stunned him for the moment. Now, the good thing is that you're not only going to experience this replay with the SU-8, but you're going to get a chance to have a look at the M44 afterwards and then compare the two. I personally prefer the M44. It's by far a better Arty. You can not only hit more targets at a faster fire rate, but it's also, well, slightly easier to dial in because the SU-8 has a very narrow arc of fire, as you can see here on the minimap, whereas the M44 is 30 degrees either side of the centre line. The SU-8 does dial in faster, but the M44, well, it's much more practical really, which is why it actually is the Arty that generates the most credits. And of course it was the Arty that was recommended by Quickie Baby, because he said of the two vehicles that can generate credits for you, one is the Panzer IV Aslains H with the dirt gun, and the other one is the M44. Oh no, I don't know if you just noticed, but Talon's gone into this bush, and that Lorraine 15550 is directly behind him. He's aiming at the Black Prince and the T-37, but his teammate is firing directly past him. Hopefully he won't interrupt the shell, the flight path of the shell coming from behind him, because otherwise that would be rather awkward if he gets struck in the rear. I've actually done that myself. I've accidentally hit a teammate because I didn't correctly look at the arc, and the shell went straight through my teammate who was very close to me at the time. Luckily this was past the point at which team damage was taken out of the game, otherwise I probably would have wiped him out with that one round. Well, that one damaged the T-37 and he goes down with that shot. He got 252 hit points of damage and he got the stun assist on top. So 488 hit points of damage done, but 666 of damage assist. And he fires around in the other end of the bridge road. Supposedly there's a T-25-2 in there, and if there is, he's got a headache at the moment. But Talon spotted something, I think, that if he's using his minimap, yes, he spotted that IKV-90B moving up through the bowl. He stopped to pull out from behind that rock. Talon styled in. He's accurate. Rounds out. Oh, that's a pen. He definitely went through the armour of that guy and scored 614 hit points, a high roll, which took out the IKV-90B altogether. Well, our teammates are now making it to the enemy cap area, so this game's looking as if it's going very well for us, but there's still 3 enemy Arty out there and a number of tanks. There's one of the tanks, the Lurva. It's one of 2 heavies left on the enemy team. He fires around in. It's very narrow aim and it hits the ground, unfortunately. Not sure I would have taken that shot myself without a clear outline to work with. The best you can do is try and stun them or splash them under those circumstances. Now, one of the Artys has been spotted. It's the Lorraine 15550. He suddenly walks into a whole load of trouble. And Talon's dialing in on him. Rounds out. This could hit. And it does. And that's his second kill. Now, the Achilles will make a nice target next because he's fairly lightly armoured. And he potentially could get a pen on that guy if he hits him in the right spot. Rounds out. This is a good shot. 288. He didn't pen him. He hit the frontal armour. He was unlucky on that. I'm pretty sure if he'd hit the side of the vehicle rather than the front, he probably would have penned him. Going for the lever. Dialing in. Lining him up. Working out where he's going. That's nice. Looks good. Oh, he stopped! Oh, that's so unfortunate. If he kept going back, I'm pretty sure he would have got that shot in. But there's the M44. Suddenly came out of hiding and got taken out immediately by our Lurver. The enemy Lurver's just gone down. That T-25-2's come out of hiding as well. There's only 2 enemy tanks left. We've held their cap. There goes the T-25-2, which means now there's only 1 enemy left. It's the Striv S1. And we can't see where he is. Now this is odd. Now I think he's going to be down at the other end. He isn't. He's actually hiding across the bowl. And very well concealed in there. But he's now been spotted. And you can see Talon styling in. Rounds out. Not much to work with. But he actually hit him. You can see. Hit him just next. Just underneath the gun actually. Just underneath the gun. It looks like he did a lot of damage. Talon can only splash him from here. He gets the round in, but it only stuns him. But he picks up the stun assist anyway. And the game is over. So that's the first game with the SU-8. Let's have a look at the second game with the M44. The second game is on Overlord. And it's about to start. Okay, now where's he going to go? Varying schools of thought about where you should place yourself. Some people like staying over on the east side of the map. Others like going down near the Chine. And a few like to go down onto the beach and shoot from there. Of course, the ones who are on the beach do have the ability to shoot at tanks that are on the beach themselves. Plus, of course, the ones that are much higher up in the infield. But of course they're much more vulnerable to being counter-battery because there's very few places that they can go. And it looks like Talon's going straight down to the beach right away. The M44, based on the Walker Bulldog hull, has 155mm howitzer as its main armament. Now there's varying schools of thought as to how many of these were actually made, because some say it's only 250, others say it's more, 600 or so. What we do know is that it is still in the infantry of the Turkish army. They've still got some. And it is a very good arty as well. Okay, Easy 8 on the beach. Panther M10. Okay, rounds out the Easy 8. Direct hit right into his side for 263. That's a good start. There's a very narrow target there when he hit it as well. Okay, the Easy 8's trying to shoot down on our VK. Rounds out in the M Panther, and he gets the direct hits again. That one you can see right on the side. And they've now been joined by a T-34 shielded. It's a tier 7 game with tier 5 tanks in it. Lands the round just nearby, but the T-34 shielded pulled back just in time. The enemy have lost their Panther M10 and their Easy 8. And the only tank they've got on the beach now is this T-34 shielded. And he's pulled behind that rock for security, because if he stays where he is, he's in trouble. But he does have some support behind, because there's a BDR-G1B up on the cliff, and I think that's what Talon's going to aim at next. He's marked the target, he's dialing in, he's only got a few seconds left before he can shoot. You can see what Talon does is he puts the report of what he's actually going to do into the message. That goes into the chat automatically in a message. saying I'm going to be ready in so many seconds. And again, that's very useful for the tank commanders to let them know when their artillery support is going to be available. It also helps if he does actually say which target he's attacking. And oh, looks like the one of the enemy tanks just crashed down the hill. And that was off the cliff, the Panzer IV Aslains. And now we're aiming at the VP on the enemy team, the 105 FH. But he's pulled back because the BDR is somewhere up there on the cliff, still holding our guys up. There's the VP coming to sight again. I think he's trying to get further down the beach, but yeah, that ended his game pretty quickly. He got hit by the Sherman Jumbo. Talon's loaded. He's just dialing in on the BDR G1B. Rams out. Lands in front of him, but he still gets some splash of 15-9. He's marked the target to let his teammates know that's what I'm going for. Still 8 seconds. Oh, he's actually now down to 0. He's loaded, rounds out straight away, lands next to him, but doesn't do any damage whatsoever. It actually went long and exploded well on the other side of the vehicle. That's bad RNG, and we've now lost sight of the BDR, but I think he's still there. So he fires another round in. Oh, and a Super Hellcat's now joined the BDR. Now, Super Hellcat's got very thin armour, so they're very susceptible to Arty, and he's just been tracked. Okay, well, the enemy's lost their BDR. Can he get this Hellcat? Rounds out. If he hits it, it could be bad. Yes, 211 hit points. And there's only 4 enemies left, 2 of which are Arty. No, 1 of which is Arty. 2 tank destroyers. And they're on the other side of the battlefield, so he's decided to move and get a bit closer so he can get a better reaction time. There's no enemy near the enemy vehicles at the moment, so well, there's none of our teammates, I should say, near the enemy vehicles, so they can't get any shots on them whilst we're motoring south. Okay, he's decided this is close enough for the moment. Only 4 enemy vehicles, one of which is an Arty, so it could be that he's decided to stay near the spawn point. Using the minimap, we can see that there's a tree down at this position. That's where the Wolverine was last seen. So he's put around in there just in case. The enemy Arty could be amongst those trees. That is the position where the enemy Arty spawns, or near there. He's having a quick look round to see if there's any sign that the enemy's relocated. Okay, he's definitely going to get closer. Okay, we found the M4A1 and they've just killed the gorilla. Rounds out. Okay, and at least that's one of them down. Only 3 to go now. They're all closing in. They're going to be definitely somewhere in that southeast corner of the map. And they just killed the Valiant near the cap area. Okay, Talon's searching round. There's not the fences are not down, so there's nobody near those fences. If a fence was down, that would indicate something was there. There's bushes here and a tree that's fallen. That could be a good place for the AMX-13 F3AM to be. Always look for bushes with trees fallen next to them, because it's a possibility somebody moved in and they knocked the tree down to give it a bit of extra cover. T-67's moving very, very close now. He's gone back to that bush because it looks so good, so inviting. Well, there's the Churchill gun carrier. Rounds out. Lands next to him and kills him. Oh, look at that. The AMX-13F3 was right over in the corner behind the bushes and nobody saw him there. He just didn't leave any trace of where he was. And he's one of two left. Talon's loaded, rounds out. Direct hit kills the AMX. And that means there's only one enemy left now, the Wolverine. He's somewhere in this neighborhood. They're saying to the Sherman Jumbo you should cap. Frequently in battles like this where there's only one left, you don't normally get somebody going into the cap. They're too eager to get the last kill. And it's a bit of a mistake really, because you should put pressure on the enemy by capping, because it forces them to make mistakes. And we just lost our Panzer IV-H to the Wolverine, who's now heading east. And that means now the only guy we've got down there is that Sherman Jumbo. The M41 HMC still back at our cap area. And, well, Talon is the next one. So Talon should get into the cap to force the Wolverine to come out of his hiding spot. Those check crosses are really difficult. Sometimes they do stop a vehicle, unlike the Dragon's Teeth that you normally see on things like Siegfried Line. I was quite pleased when they actually changed the rock formations on Arctic region, Mannerheim Line, because you can't cross those now without actually coming a cropper, and that was the whole point of those rocks, to actually make an impenetrable barrier that caused a bottleneck for enemy vehicles. So they had to go through a specific point, and that made them more vulnerable. Okay, the E2's getting closer. He has got some hit points. He could survive 2 shots. Probably 1 shot from the M10. Talon could easily knock down that tree and jump into that spot. And I think that's what he's going to do. Yep. It'll give him a bit of cover. He is capping. Forces the M10 to come out and reveal himself. There is the possibility, though, the M10 has actually doubled back and gone round, headed north, and is now sitting somewhere near the bowl. And I think that's what Talon's thinking as well. It'd be too easy for him to go into the corner of the bowl in grid square F7 and then take pot shots at anyone who's sitting in the cap. Or actually, it wouldn't be F7, it'd be G7. So Talon's aimed his howitzer in that direction, and the E2 is now moving north. I have the sneaking suspicion that the M10 is waiting until it gets to 70 when he can get his Defender medal, and then he'll take a shot. There's 70. Pre-aim at the bowl. I can hear destruction going on. And he's very close. Oh my god, he's so close, it's unbelievable. And he gets a shotgun right in the face. How did that happen? The E2 just didn't see him, and he was actually moving about in front of the E2, and Talon's been taken out. But the M41 is right on the money, and he kills the M10 immediately after Talon was killed. How the hell did that guy get that close without the E2 spotting him? Well, it is a victory, but I'm afraid Talon died at the end of it. So let's have a look at the end of battle results for the first game and then this one. And here's the end of battle results. And in the first game in the SU-8, it was a first-class tanker for talon1958. He also managed to get a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He managed to get 12. And his win rate for the battle was 3,102. I think he said it's finally a good game. I think he's had a run of really bad games right up before this one. And he was quite pleased that this one went very well. If we look at the team score, we can see that he didn't get the highest damage. He only got 1,742 hit points of damage on this one, but there was quite a few other tanks in the game who were actually quite good, and including the T-28 who got the high caliber release. He got the highest damage, 2,515, followed by the Lerva with 1892 and the Super Hellcat 1871. So Talon managed to get 4th highest on damage. When it came to the number of kills, though, he was actually joint first because there was a number of tanks, including the T-28, Lerva, Super Hellcat, KV-3, Lance and C, who all managed to get 2 kills alongside Talon, so that you can see why he didn't get that much in the way of hit points, because everyone else was very good as well, and they were doing their business. When it came to base XP, we can see that he was actually 4th on the table. The Super Hellcat managed to get 998, the T-28 972, the Lerva got 967 and also picked up a steel wall, and then we got Talon with 945. The Lance and C got a Spartan as well out of that game. Talon fired 12 rounds, got 3 direct hits and 1 penetration, 10 splash. Damage of 1,742 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 6 of the enemy, killed 2, did 666 hit points of stun assist, damage assist, and 647 hit points of stun assist off 9 stuns. On a premium count, he actually earned 44,183 credits, got 18,115 for mission completion, and 62,298 for altogether. And after ammunition resupply, took away 52,578 credits as well. 1,417 XP times 2 for the first victory, 2,835 experience points altogether from that one. A good game, in fact a very good game in terms of the fact that he also got that lovely shot on the IKV-90. That was the penetration one, 614 hit points from 1 round. Yeah, that IKV obviously felt that one, went straight back to the garage. So, good game on the first one. Let's have a look at the second one with the M44. Well, he got a second class tanker with that one. And he also got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. He got 11. And a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else on his team. His win rate on this one was slightly higher, 3,320. If we look at the team score, we can see that he got the 2nd highest damage on his team, but he was actually the 4th highest damage overall, because the highest scorer was that Sherman Jumbo, the E2, managed to get 2,066 hit points, picked up a lever slayers and a top gun. The next high scorer was the Churchill gun carrier, who got 1,675, followed by that Wolverine, the one that killed him, 1,641. The gun carrier got a tank sniper, the Wolverine picked up a top gun, and of course a defender when he reset Talon in the cap. When it came to kills, it was shared between the Sherman Jumbo and the Wolverine. Both got 6 kills each. Then there's 2 kills for Talon, the CS-44, the Super Hellcat, the M4A1 and the AMX-13F3. So joint 2nd place on kills. And when it came to base XP, he's 2nd on that as well, because the Sherman Jumbo got 1,023, and you can see that Talon got 859, and there's a big gap then to the next tank, which was the VK3601H, with only 642 base experience points. 17 shots fired, 5 direct hits, no penetration, 15 splash. Damage of 1,560 hit points, of which 1,339 were at more than 300 meters. The difference being that M10, it was very close when he got smacked in the face by Talon, but he was just too close really, and of course he was able to get the reset. 3 shots, hits received, 3 penetrations. Yes, I'm afraid that guy did get very close. And 9 enemy vehicles damaged, 2 killed, and 224 hit points of damage assist, plus 696 hit points of stun assist off 13 stuns. On a premium count, he earned 39,869 credits, 16,346 from holding ops, total of 56,215 credits, and after repair and ammunition resupply, took away 43,946 credits for the game. 43,946. Yes, okay. 30 bonds. He must have completed a mission during the day, probably the first mission of the day or daily missions. And 1,288 XP, 12,890 for some mission completion, took away 14,178 experience points altogether. He was actually totally right. Bait them with an Arty and he will come. If you provide them with a juicy target that they want to get a reset with, they will expose themselves. But it's just amazing that that M10 managed to get as close as he did without the E2 spotting him, or even for that matter Talon. Talon's view range is still fairly good. It's about 260 meters, but that M10, well, he managed to get very, very close before he took Talon out. But there's one other thing that came about in this battle which is interesting to think about. You see, Talon did move. The M41 HMC didn't. Talon moved further south towards the enemy goal, the enemy cap, and because he was able to do that, when all the other tanks were taken out and there was only the E2 available, he was able to get into the cap and provide a bait to pull that M10 out of cover. You see, if he'd sat at the other end with the M41 and didn't know what the P and SPG stood for, then it would have been very difficult for the E2 to find that M10, and they might have been looking at a draw instead, or at least even worse, they might have been looking at that M10 finding both Artys and killing them, because he obviously had very good camo skills. So yes, it's very good that Talon actually did move south and help the E2 then, or actually help the M41 HMC to conclude the game. I hope you enjoyed both those replays. If you did, please give this video a like. Do subscribe to our channel. Leave a little comment down below because it helps feed the algorithm and get the videos noticed by other people. And thank you for watching.